Okay, so for today's video, at least another one, probably in the same day, we're looking at two different fighters here. We're looking at Frieza, and then we'll be looking at Beast Gohan here in a bit. Now, of course, we all know about Frieza. Always trying to stay one step ahead, always usually having some sort of cunning plan, but it never works out because I gotta be honest, I think Frieza's actually too impatient and too stupid to wait out his goals for the right duration of time to really see them come to fruition. He's hell bent on revenge. That's always going to be his Achilles heel. And then on the other hand, you have Beast Gohan, who's all about tapping into that primal unleashed power. It's raw emotion combined with honed fighting skills that we know about. He's obviously fierce and fast in this transformation state. He fights with the personal edge that comes from overcoming his past limits. You're no longer dealing with the revival of embarrassing meme Gohan. You're dealing with a true fighter that could actually put you to sleep or put you out for good completely and entirely, and that's with conscious in mind. This is not a Gohan devoid of conscious, completely the opposite in my opinion. So when you have these two and their fighting styles clash, if they were, because we haven't seen Frieza and Gohan legitimately fight since Gohan was obviously at that point during, I'm not even going to say Revival of F. I'm going to say the Saiyan Saga, okay? Because, or not the Saiyan Saga, the Frieza Saga, right? After the Saiyan Saga, because technically, like I said, Gohan wasn't even in fighting shape when him and Frieza met when he was in that green jumpsuit. We need to skip past that. They fought last time when he was a kid, so it's been a long time, right? So, you know, Frieza can initially fight with this calm, methodical style, right? Gohan's going to fight with more passion, more intensity, especially considering his disdain. Frieza doesn't seem to dislike Gohan the same way he dislikes Goku and maybe even Vegeta in a different sense. You know what I mean? Gohan's is more of, okay, he's the child with such unbelievable, like Gohan has too much strength for you to not respect it, even if you're as evil as Frieza. You know what I mean? He's had that effect essentially on everyone. He had that on Raditz. No one has looked at Gohan once he's shown his potential and said, whoa, this guy, it's almost like where did that come from? Like I would have never thought, you know what I mean? So I think this clash isn't really just about power. It's really about the different styles and their mindsets and how they think about one another and then how they actually handle the course of battle. Gohan is going to fight more intensely, I think, in the beginning. He's going to be looking to knock Frieza out quickly. If Frieza is able to endure and he's able to obviously outmaneuver Gohan long enough, for Gohan to essentially not be at his top form, because from my understanding, Gohan has not trained in Beast long enough to be able to hold it for an extending fight, right? If we're talking about fighting with Frieza, you're going to be fighting for a bit of time, so I don't think the Beast form is going to be it. It would have to be Ultimate Gohan, and I think Frieza obviously has the advantage in that case. So if this is a real fight, Gohan's got to try to use his Beast form quickly to knock Frieza out. Otherwise, he's going to have to then subvert back to his ultimate form, which is going to be a more power conserving transformation he can use. And then that's where I think the battle actually favors Frieza. And then Gohan is really having to fight with his emotions, which can keep him in the fight because, let's be honest, he hasn't really been pushed to the brink. I think the Tournament of Power is different circumstances. I don't think that's Gohan being pushed to his ultimate limit. I think in the superhero movie that was a bit closer, hence why Beast happened. Yes, it's fan service, air quotes, but still, like, that was the motivation that they were saying for his transformation. Obviously, his daughter means everything to him, so I think we're going to see a stronger Gohan. If you haven't paid attention, he's not going to revert back to being the weak version we ever saw again. So who wins in this fight? You know, Gohan's my boy. He's my favorite character. For those of you guys that have been following me since the beginning of this Dragon Ball journey across my DBZ Warrior channel now to this one, Kaioken Striker, I gotta say, unless Gohan's ultimate form allows him to endure, I think Frieza wins just based off of where he's currently at and where he's been training at. Gohan has not been consistently training at the same level as Frieza over the last couple of years, right? We can pretty much all agree to that. So despite Gohan's raw potential and power, and I'm saying this as the biggest Gohan fan, I think in a long-standing fight like what Frieza has with Goku and Vegeta, I think Frieza's going to win out unless Gohan is pushed to that breaking point of like he was during the Cell games, and maybe you get that type of fight again. But with Frieza, I think it plays out differently. That's just my thoughts. You let me know yours, comment section below. It's a classic battle, and it would be cold strategy versus like this fiery, passionate instinct from Gohan. So to me, it's like, it's one of those things I would love to see, and I'm kind of shocked. Dragon Ball, Shueisha, anybody involved, and of course, missing the late great, Kira Toriyama. I'm sure it just wasn't in his plans, but I wonder if anybody ever pitched it to him or pitched it to anybody in the company or even maybe Toritaro for the manga. Give me your thoughts, comment section below. It's been Kaioken Striker. Stay tough, stay strong, stay in the fight. I'm there with you all the way, brother. I will see you next time. Have a good one.